Hello, my friend. It's good to be with you today. Have you ever been playing a game and you decided to make up your own rules? I bet you made up some wonderful rules. And then you were playing with your parents or your cousins or your friends. And then someone did something and you thought, that should be against the rules. But you'd already made up the rules and you were already playing. So you had to figure out what to do. Sometimes this happens to grown-ups. We have lots of wonderful rules that we follow that help us treat each other well and be fair. But then something new happens or something changes and we have to stop and think and pray and ask, are the rules still fair or do we need to change them? This happens in the Bible. There's a story about a man named Zelophehad. That's a fun name. Can you say it with me? Zelophehad. Zelophehad had 5 daughters, and they went to Moses because they thought the rules needed to be changed. Let's hear what happened. The people of Israel continued their long walk through the wilderness toward the land God was taking them to. They tried their best to live by the laws God had given them. Among the people, there was a man named Zelophehad. He had 5 daughters, Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. That's right, Noah can be a girl's name too. Zelophehad had no sons at all. One day Zelophehad died. His daughters were sad, but they were also worried. Among their people, the rule was, when a father died, his son would receive all that he had owned and share it with his family. But Zelophehad had no son to inherit what he had. What would happen? The women were afraid they might lose everything. The daughters said, "It is not fair that our family should lose everything my father had just because we are daughters, not sons. Let us go to our leaders and tell them it is not right." So Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah went before Moses and all the leaders, and they said, "Please do not let us lose everything our father had just because we don't have brothers to inherit it. It is not right." Moses thought for a moment. He didn't know what to do, so he prayed to God. God told him, "What they are asking for is right. Give them their father's property. And also, you must change the law. This should not happen again. A daughter should not lose her father's inheritance just because she doesn't have a brother." And Moses did what God had said and gave the women what they asked for. And he changed the rule. From that day on in Israel, daughters could inherit from their fathers even if they didn't have brothers. The end. So God helped the people change the rules in order to be fair to the daughters of Zelophehad. It's very important to think about what's fair and what's right, isn't it? You know who has a really good sense of what's fair? You. Children have a wonderful sense of what's fair and what's unfair. You can even feel it in your body, can't you? When something feels unfair, I feel it in my stomach. My stomach gets a little tense and cold, and I think this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel fair. That's a very important feeling. When you feel it, you should notice it and think about it and pray about it. Maybe talk to your parents or another grown-up about it. Because sometimes things are not fair and we have to say something about it in order to change the rules so that everyone is treated right and treated well. That's one way that God works through us in the world to make it more loving and more fair. And you are a very important part of that work. Can you pray with me? Please read along, or have a grown-up read along with me. Dear God, help me to be fair and stand up for what's right. Amen.
The text of this story was prepared by me, Catherine Ray. Illustrations are by Rebecca J. Epstein-Levy.